What can sometimes be tricky is changing numbers into a load of words and changing a load of words into numbers. Let me give you an example. If I said, write as a number the phrase 65,007, how would you actually write that as a number? So we have the phrase 65,007, but how do we write that as a number? Well, in the phrase, you'll always be given the hundreds, the thousands, the millions, and if you're not given it, it's because it's zero. So for example here, we are given the thousands. It says 65,000. So we can write that straight away. 65. Now, it's 1,000, so we know there's going to be 3 more digits. So it's going to be something, something, something. We know that because 65,000 is the thousands are followed by 3 numbers. This is the hundreds, this is the tens, and this is the units. In this case though, we're not given any hundreds. In fact, we're not even given any tens. We're only given a unit, 7. So what we do is you write 65,000, but then a 0 for the hundreds, a 0 for the tens, and a 7 for the units. So the way to write the number is 65,007, like this. Now you might be curious about that comma. That comma comes every 3 numbers from the end of the number. So I don't go 1, 2, 3 and put the comma after this first 0. We work from the back and go 7, 0, 0, then a comma. The reason we do that is just so visually, when you're looking at a number, you can kind of tell how big it is with a bit of practice just by where the comma is. That's the only reason we do it. It has no mathematical value at all. Let's try a bigger number. So for example, 875 million. 875 million. 56,202. There we are. A huge phrase that we need to change into a number. Let's have a go. Let's start from the biggest and work down. 875 million. What we write is 875. We can move on to the thousands now, and even if we're not quite sure how to finish the number, at least we've got that start. 875 million. 56,000. Well, notice there was no 100,000. So here we start with 100 million. If I was to give another number, just that if I made it up with 9 digits, like this, we have 100 million column here, 10 million, a million, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000, 100, tens, and units. But here we weren't given any hundreds of thousands. It didn't say 289,000. It's just simply 56,000. So in the hundreds of thousands column, we just have a 0. Then it's 56. All of that says is 56,000. Finally, 202. And the way we write that is just simply 202. So this number is 875,056,202. And as you can see, the commas come every 3 numbers starting from the back. Finally, how about if I gave you a number and you have to write it as a phrase? Let's do that. Here is the number. There we are. Now, actually let's change that a little bit to make it a teeny bit harder. Okay, there's our number. And I didn't say it out loud, obviously, because that would be giving away what the number is. Now, your challenge is to change that number into words. In fact, I'm going to make it one step harder. Sorry to change it around, but I just wanted to make it extra juicy. There we are, there's our final number. Let's underline it. How would we write this huge number as a phrase? Well, first of all, you notice how we have the comma every 3 from the back. So 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. But we've gone even beyond the hundreds of millions. What's after the hundreds of millions? It's the billions. So this would be actually 8 billion. This number roughly is almost the number of people on the planet. At the moment we're like 7.2 billion. But I'm sure if you're watching this video in 2020, we'll be at 8 billion. And that's the population of the whole planet. So it's 8 billion. What about this 102? Is it 102,000? No. It's 102 million. Then what about this 403? Is that just 403? It's 403,000. And then this, what about this 068? What do we do for that? Is that 600 or something like that? Well, there's 0 for the hundreds, so it's simply the number 68 now. Or, in short, 8 billion 100, I forgot the 1, 8 billion 102 million 403,068. That is that lovely number. It's great to practice this. Practice changing phrases into numbers and changing numbers into words.